Welcome back, boys. G'day, Dingo. How you doing? Today we're going to try an IFR flight using the default ATC. Not using live weather because there weren't clouds. I wanted to enjoy some fluffy boys on the way. We're in Cancun. We're going to fly to Key West, and we're going to see if we can get a whole flight with the ATC. It's a little wonky sometimes, particularly on the arrival with descents, and once you get closer to an airport, particularly towered. But we'll give her a go and see how she works. Got my knee board set up and everything. I'm going to jump in the cockpit and get things started. Avoid using track IR while we're doing this. First thing, I need to get some battery power. Actually, I might need it here. Whoa. Let's go. Batteries. 1 and
Autopilot.
2. Hello. Go ahead and turn on our APU gen. And I'm going to turn on the gens for the engine so I don't forget. Bus tie open and we'll start the APU. I'll probably have to add the fuel on here too. There we go. First thing I'm going to do is pick up our clearance. Clearance delivery, according to ForeFlight 122.1, I think. Let me just verify that. 122.1. We'll do it down here. Com1 122.1 and transfer. And you're active, so let's pick up our clearance. So when you file a flight plan, you're putting your type of aircraft, so you don't need to say longitude, just say Cessna, and normally if I'm flying domestic I would omit the November, but since we're flying international I'm going to include that too. So we will say Cancun clearance, Cessna 731 November Romeo, IFR clearance Key West. Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey.
Cancun clearance delivery Cessna November 731 November Romeo IFR to Key West, ready to copy. Cessna November 731 November Romeo is cleared to Key West Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 12 right climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.2 squawk 711 tree.
So the if you're writing this down on a knee board, the acronym is CRAFT: clearance, routing, altitude, frequencies, transponder. So I'd read that back to him. Clear to Key West Airport as filed. Climb maintain 6,000. Departure frequency 124.2 and transponder 7113.
Acknowledge last transmission.
You got you, bud. There you go.
Cessna November 731 November Romeo cleared to Key West Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 12 right climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure on 124.2 squawk 711 tree. Cessna 1 November Romeo readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.7 when ready to taxi.
Contact ground 121.7 ready to taxi. 1 November Romeo. Go ahead, tune ground. And get the rest. I think we can pretty much push back. Let me just make sure our plan and stuff is all in here. So it looks like we got a SID or something. Upper November 708. And also when you're doing your flight plans, it'll give you the opportunity, if you're doing IFR, to choose low altitude airways and high altitude airways. And the only difference is high altitude are your J and Q routes. Those are for the flight levels. Anything below 18,000 feet is going to be the lower airways. So those are in there. Let's take a look at that and see what it looks like. And it's going to be 12 right. That's weird. That's going the opposite ways. It'll probably be vectors around back to select that. And move this around with the cursor. Do some setup on the MCP. Let me see the takeoff heading for 12 right. 125 degrees. easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Climb maintain 6,000, so we can put that in altitude. Let me see if I can get some lights in here too, jeez. Got heading, altitude, and I think this is a SID, so we can actually probably use VNav for the climb. Let's see. Let me switch our nav source over here, go FMS, and switch to VNav. Flight directors. She might have to do vertical speed, because it looks like we're probably going to get vectored around that. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. If we go vertical speed, we can definitely do probably 2,000. Alright, got that set up. And let me zoom in here, and we can probably get a pushback. Call ready to taxi. Come on over here, boy. Alright, get our ATIS real quick, and then we'll call ground and tell them we're ready to taxi. ATIS 122.7. Nope. Maybe. One two 7.7, alright. Hello. Alright, guess we're not going to be getting an ATIS. So normally you call ground and say, hey, we're at the GA ramp, ready to taxi, departure, IFR departure, and what information you got. But we don't have an ATIS, so we're just going to call them and say, Cessna, November 731, November Romeo, GA ramp, ready to taxi. We got the weather.
Ground Cessna November 731, November Romeo with Juliet ready to taxi IFR. Cessna November 731, November Romeo taxi to and hold short of runway 12 right using taxiway Alpha. Contact tower on 118.6 when ready.
12 right via Alpha, contact tower when ready, 118.6, 1 November Romeo.
Taxiing hold short runway 12 right via taxiway Alpha Cessna 1 November Romeo.
And we'll go ahead and tune tower 118.6. And let's start pushback. We'll get our beacon on. Anti-collision lights. Head tracking. And I think it's Shift P. Control P? There we go. Take off the parking brake. There we go, we got it. Taxiways are labeled wrong here. 12 right would be taxi via Charlie. Interesting. while he's doing that, we can go ahead and get our engines going. Let's start with engine number 1. Generator's already on. We got the fuel going, so click start over there. Actually say that's probably good enough for our push, thanks. Start. Go ahead and get number 1 going. Not really sure what's going on the flight plan. They're saying 1-2 right, but it's got us going back the opposite direction, so I'm not sure if they're gonna. They didn't say anything about vectors or what our SID was. So we're just gonna climb runway heading and see what they do. Close that guy. Double check our generators are on, and they are. So go ahead and kill the APU. APU gen off. Actually, leave the APU gen on. Taxi lights. And we'll go ahead and get nav lights on as well for the time. And I think we're ready to taxi. Park and brake. Those sounds. Where you going, bud? I'm gonna have to drive through him. Set our departure frequency either 124.2. Down here we can set some V speeds. I want V rotate, and we're going to climb at VY and V approach. VX is also best angle of climb. So if you had an obstacle that you had to climb over and you wanted quickest, shortest, it's good. VY is best rate. So over a period of time or distance, that would be your best climb rate. Again, they've assigned us probably the wrong runway for wind, but it doesn't look too bad. We got the landing lights on. I think pulses, strobes, the lights on this plane are strangely labeled. That is our strobes. Alright, we're good. We're on tower 118.6. Don't say takeoff. Say departure or tell them you're ready to go. I'm not sure what they're going to tell us here. So let's go tower. Cessna, November 731, November Romeo, holding short 12 right, ready to go. Where you at, dude? What the heck? Taxi. Oh, this is already screwed up. Forward a wee bit. Let's see. Not giving me the option, even. Well, we might have to scrap this completely. I'll just do it myself. And let me pull this flight plan up too, see if we can go direct to once we're airborne, because I don't. We're obviously, this SID is going the opposite direction for us. So something else we've kind of, the game is kind of screwed up for us. Flight plan. Yeah, so this would be a departure. So we're going to do, let's see if we can do, click this, direct to, we should be able to do that when we're airborne. And what do I want to do? What do I want to select? So we'll do Upper November 700. So let me go back. Flight plan, Upper November 700. We'll select that and we'll hit direct to once we are airborne. Say clear for takeoff, 12 rights, blah, 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 blah. 1 November Romeo. And contact departure when airborne. So already off to a bad start with the ATC. It kind of works. So 12 right, verified, we got on the pavement, we got the right runway. 12 left is closed via NOTAM, which is interesting. Let's say takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. Temperatures and pressures are green. 70 knots. And rotate. Tap the brakes. And let's say we're on a usable runway, so gear up, flaps up. autopilot on so I can deal with this. And we want to switch to, see now it's got the frequency, 124.2, enter, and transfer. Let's see if I can contact them. Yeah, it's not, it doesn't. Tune approach. No departure. Let's see what they say. Retry with last IFR flight plan. Let's see what that does.
Approach Cessna November 731 November Romeo 4 miles southeast of Cancun. Request IFR to Key West ready to copy.
Oh no, I'm not doing this whole crap again.
Cessna November 731 November Romeo is cleared to Key West Airport as filed. Squawk
Nah, dog.
711
Bye. I'm going to turn northbound and then we'll do direct to activate and go to nav mode. Nav, where's nav? That appears to be working at least. It is 250 knots. Well, now we're on our own, I guess. Look at that, though. Jeez. See if she captures 6,000. The climb rate is slowing down, so it looks like it's going to work. So for on a magnetic course of 0 to 179 degrees, those are odd thousands for IFR, so we're going to set our own. We'll say 31,000. So level off at 6. See if flight level change works. So 31,000, select flight level change, speed 250. Can't change it. Yeah, I can't select the speed. It is climbing though. Well, the ATC is kind of disappointing. I had my whole knee board all ready, got my ForeFlight open. Dropped my pen on the floor already, just like real life. What is going on here? Oh, I got it. So the airspeed's reading 0, which means the pitot tubes are frozen. So the air data computer is not reading any information, so we're leveling off here for a second. There we go. We're in the flight levels now. Don't have this changed to standard because we already were. There are a few things, like if they could just iron this stuff out and get a little bit more functionality in the avionics, this game would be so perfect. Look at this, boys. Oh, you know what else? Melon told me that the fuel consumption or the fuel capacity in this plane is a quarter of what it is in real life. Like the capacity, or it's using way more than it ought to. So we might not even have enough fuel to get there. Let's see. Oh, so those are in gallons. 170, so 340 gallons total. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. That could be interesting. Man, that is awesome. Take a look at this. 331 gallons. Let me do just some math here. Do I have a calculator? so jet fuel weighs a little bit over 6 pounds a gallon, which means that probably we're getting about 1,800 gallons. It's saying 1731 fuel flow per hour, which should be dropping, but it's not really because we're climbing into thinner here. So I doubt it's going to take an hour to get there, so we might have just enough fuel. We'll see. I believe this airplane has an auto throttle system as well. Arm auto throttle. And presumably this would work, but it wouldn't let me select a speed for flight level change, so we'll see if we can use this in a second. We're leveling off. Almost. Keep going, bud. Yeah, this is weird. It's not going up to 31,000. Planes still need a little bit of work. Let's see if the auto throttle works. Switch between Mach units. Doesn't work either. Yeah, they're both standard barometric pressure now, and they're both in agreement. Let's go 280 knots and see if this works. Showing a little bit of a climb rate. I'm not really sure what the plane wants to do. The auto throttle appears to be working. I can't select or I can't switch between knots and Mach speed though. That didn't work. Kinda, but it shouldn't have leveled off 400 feet below and then climbed at 5 feet per minute. It's a jet. Yesterday, Melon and I flew this, and everything seemed to have worked fairly well. I was kind of assuming it was going to cooperate with me today, but I guess not. It's a pretty jet, though. God, it looks so good. what she's doing now. Now we're at flight level 310, and the auto throttle appears to have us right at 281. Not very granular though. I can't select 280. Click this. Okay, so yeah, it is switching between Mach and knots, but it's not displaying that up here properly. This is kind of what I was talking about. I mean, the interior looks phenomenal. The sounds are really good. If they could really get the avionics down and get the MCP and the flight, the autopilot working, it'd be amazing. I'm going to look at Key West, since we're not really doing this IFR crap anymore. Yesterday I couldn't figure out how to get COM2 active, so let me get Key West ATIS is 119675. 119675. Transfer. So it's in the active, but it's not green. I don't know how to make it so you should be able to monitor both of those. COM2 volume. That's disappointing too. There's got to be a way to do that. I just don't know how to do it. Do anything. So I guess I'll put it down here in the standby, 119675. We'll just switch it to active, then we get close enough it'll automatically, oops. Able to see Cuba down here somewhere. Boys. Oh, there she is. There's Cuba. Barely. Is it? Oh, I can just see some land right there. The other thing that's kind of annoying, you can't select a cruise altitude via the flight planning thing. So there's no way, you just basically get whatever altitude air traffic control assigns to you. I managed to complete a flight that was good up until the end with air traffic control, and it wouldn't give you the option to respond that you had the field in sight, so I had to give it up. I guess ultimately it's not too big of a deal because I'm probably not going to use it too often anyway. figure out when we need to start descending as well. So, flight plan. It's actually got some altitudes that are put in here. Yeah, we're not going to go up to 45,000 feet. The service ceiling, I think, is 45,000 feet. No one flies at the service ceiling. Maxim, let's see. So currently 70 nautical miles to that one. After that, we got 117. 53. We're at 31,000, so probably about 90 miles out we'll start descending. So, about 35 miles before we reach maximum. No contrails. Ground speed's about 440 knots, and we've got a cumulative distance of about 152 miles. And 234 pounds of fuel, or gallons of fuel. Probably going to be okay. Without the IFR fuel requirements. Breaking the law. Fuel requirements for IFR are to be able to fly to your airport of intended destination, plus an additional 45 minutes of cruise, normal power, normal speed, and that would be to your alternate if it was required. It is not today. NOTAM for Key West in effect Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday from 0300 to 1100. The runway is closed except to air carriers until October 31st. Interesting. Guess it wouldn't affect us today. That is awesome. We are going to Key West. I tried to use the ATC and it just didn't work. And the plane was acting screwy. What you up to, bud? Yeah, I just switched frequencies. Not listening. Oh, dang. Have you started planning all the lessons and stuff? I really should start doing that now. I'm not looking forward to that. But the airport our airport is closing for a month, starting in September because they're repaving the runway. So, I mean, I guess I'll still be able to fly, but I have to go down to Peachtree to cab to take the planes out of there. So I'm going to try to knock out my commercial the next couple weeks, and then spend the rest of the month flying seldom and then doing the lesson planning. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to it all. I haven't even looked at the criteria for the flight instructor stuff, CFI. So sick of taking tests and stuff. It's pretty in-depth. It was like I was taking my mock oral with one of the instructors. He's kind of a hard ass, which is why my primary instructor sets me up with this guy. You know, so for example, he asked basically how does an airfoil create lift? I started going into the Bernoulli principle, and then he's like, nah, I'm really looking for Newton's second and third laws because Bernoulli principle doesn't really apply to the wings and stuff. So that seems really, I don't know, granular, particular. Yeah, it is. I mean, I can understanding the principles of lifts, vectors, and how pressure works and stuff like that, but really or the DP is going to be looking for that kind of stuff. Plus, for the oral exam, you're literally just teaching them for 2 or 3 hours. You know what I mean? I'm not looking forward to that one. The DP that I've been going to said that that's the one that takes the longest too. It's literally like an all-day affair. Plus, I've got to, I mean, I may end up going somewhere closer for that one, to be honest, because I have to fly. I've been flying to Greenville, which is 115 nautical miles to get up there. And now if they move the planes down to Peachtree to Cab, that's probably another 30, 20 miles on top of that. Hopefully I can get it done before they close the runways. What they're doing is like, for the first week or two, they're closing half the runway, so there'll be 3,000 something feet available that you can still use to land, and then after that it's going to be closed completely, so I really need to knock it out fast. Plus it takes me like an hour, it's an hour to drive down to Peachtree to Cab, then it would be 130 something nautical miles to fly to Greenville. That's true, that's true. Kind of sucks though, I like watching jets and smelling jet fuel. What did I say? Start descending at 30 miles out from this buoy. I got the cumulative distance up there, 144 miles. There's actually been a Longitude parked at the FBO for, it seems like a week or two now. Good looking airplanes. To be honest, I would skip the CFI if I could, but man, there's just nobody hiring, particularly if you get your commercial license, say I'm single engine, get a high performance endorsement, no one's gonna be hiring me. So it seems like the only option is to get the CFI, and it's so much work. Then move to Alaska, do some sort of pipeline surveying or something. Yeah. Everything was looking so good when I started flight training. It was like the most perfect time ever to get into commercial aviation, and then coronavirus just ruined everything. Now here we are, boys. It's like fucking Captain Canada's probably making more money than most commercial pilots now. Although once I get done with the CFI thing, to be honest, like I'll fly Cherokees for the rest of my life, just as long as I'm still getting paid to fly something. But yeah, it does feel a little shitty knowing that there's just nothing out there at the moment. That's what I'm saying, man. And the guy flies every day. He probably, I mean, I don't know how much he makes on average, but hundreds of dollars a day just for playing. I mean, what we would be doing anyway. Usually, if I'm not streaming or flying or studying, I'm flying flight simulators, you know? Although as far as flight sim pilots go, he's better than most. What are we doing here? 125 miles. I don't think I've been to Key West so far in FS 2020. How's she look? Oh, is it? I think part of it is the like the water mastery. The water looks really good, but yeah, they need to include some of the like the turquoise colors that you see near land in tropical areas. If they could work that in somehow, or somebody could make a mod or something for that, it would look really good. But that's the way the Bahamas was. I flew down there the other day and was, yeah, equally underwhelmed. That's why I threw in clouds and stuff just to make it look cool while we're descending in there at least. Look at that stuff. Also, the sim might be a little bit overzealous on the freezing and stuff like that. I didn't fly through a significant layer of clouds, but the pitot tubes automatically just froze over immediately. Fuel check, 157 gallons and 100 miles to go. I think we're going to be okay. It's cool, but yeah, it is a little exaggerated. Let's go. Coming up, let's start descending in about 10 miles. So go ahead and set 3,000, maybe 5,000. Yeah, it's neat. I like if they can make everything work pretty well, it has really cool avionics. I'm not sure what it's like in real life, but pretty cool. 3,000. That would be so good. Although, I mean, other than the issues with the avionics and the hot start, if you leave it in high idle for too long, it's pretty good. The sounds are phenomenal. Disengage this guy. Auto throttle disconnect. Hey, you don't have the Coronado 182, do you? One of the things that I was curious about was how, like, in X-Plane, even for the paywares and stuff that I had, there was nothing that was, I think, on this level of quality, aesthetically. And I'm curious if when people start, particularly Coronado, which their insides always have like this insane level of PBR and stuff, I'm worried that the planes aren't going to look as good as the default planes, but the systems are going to be better. So what I'd really like to see, like I was saying before, is to have somebody mod these or get them up to, maybe not even study level, but realistic and functional. Oh, so it uses the game's G1000. That's what I was saying. I mean, the biggest thing that I think that they're going to have to do is to get a better implementation of the avionics system, because if, like X-Plane, most of the paywares are using the default system like they did in X-Plane, like the G430 and the G1000 and stuff, it's not going to work very well. How much does jet fuel weigh? Is it 6.5 pounds per gallon? Is that right? No, avgas is 6, but I thought jet fuel was heavier. $6.8. Okay. Is it really? How is that even possible? What are you looking at rentals for? Fun flying? When was the last time that you flew something for fun? So it's been a while. I miss the days when I was working towards my instrument rating, when I was building all those cross-country hours, because there's literally just point A to point B flying. And then, sometimes you can, if you wanted to do it really cheap and get a safety pilot so you can get some simulated instrument hours. I had a friend that I was flying with too, so we just pick an airport, go fly, go get some dinner, and then fly back. That was a lot of fun. So I went up to Asheville and went to the brewery, Sierra Nevada Brewery. Couldn't drink anything. We were in a Cherokee and landed behind an A319. And one of the taxiways was closed. I think that runway is like 7,000 feet or something like that. So they told us to do a long landing, just basically go down to the end. Didn't you say that you were going to fly down to Key West at some point? And that's when somebody was talking about all the planes that disappeared down there? Is that when you took those pictures of New York too? Or is that from training as well? $55 miles. Who are you flying with? That would have been longer than the required amount, though. I literally did, it was what, 250 nautical miles in a straight line, and I literally did from our airport to Craig was 252. It's like I'm not paying $1 extra. You know what I mean? To rent? How much is it an hour? And is it wet or dry? Double check. 11975, is that the ATIS? 119675. No. $150 an hour.
Key West Airport information, Echo 1200 Zulu. Wind 274 at 8. Visibility 6. Sky condition 1,100 feet scattered, 4,000 feet scattered. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29.902. Visual runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Echo.
Information, Echo Tower 118.
Key West Airport information, Foxtrot 1200 Zulu. Wind 2.
At least they got the runway right this time. Whatever they say direction of flight, or like the air traffic controllers say, you know, Cessna 731 November Romeo, say intentions. I just want to say intentions on the radio. Like, not for me, but key up for somebody else just to see if they get in trouble. Coming up 10,000. Gonna slow down. Slow it down, boys. May need a little speed break. See them out there? Stick my head out the window. Oh yeah, there they are. That is neat. Guess they just want you to call them. $30 miles, so we can slow it down. It's kind of annoying, honestly, though, today. Sync to current heading mode. Switch you to nav 1, and we'll set the course for runway heading, which is, there we go, 275. How do you get the depth of field effects? Do you have to bind a button to enable that? Land ho. Should I even contact the tower? From this direction, I would expect a left downwind, left pattern, but I think when I was flying to Princess Juliana, first of all, they gave me runway 28. I don't even think that they land that runway, and I was coming from the north. So, like, fly over and give me a left pattern. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. It'd be cool if there was a flight sim where the default ATC was good out of the box, but it ruins my immersion. Let's disconnect the autopilot here. See ya.
Autopilot.
My turn, boy. What is the pattern altitude for turbojets? 2,000 feet or 2,500? $1,500. I thought that was just for turboprops. All right, we'll go 1,500. Where is the airport? Somewhere over here. Well, at least the water and the lighting looks good. The approach speed also seems pretty high on this, right? It's like 50, 159, 160 knots. I don't know about all that. I see the lights at the Naval Air Station. I still don't see them for Key West. Oh boys, we're here. Is that us right there? Oh yes. runway and identifier lights flashing over here on this side. Yeah, Key West, eh. See, if it had all the turquoise water extending out from where the land meets the water, that would look amazing. But I'm a little underwhelmed. Square it up here. Do the spoilers auto-deploy? That's a question. Gee, this thing gets slow, eh? And she does not want to turn either. I'm not sure I like the way that this feels. Jeez. Plus, like, once you get down towards the ground, they all really start wobbling a lot. Like, it doesn't really blow you around that much, particularly once you get below the tree level and stuff. can't imagine the approach speed is actually 150 knots, because even on a fairly loaded 738, your approach speeds, your VREF is probably going to be around 130 something, 140 something. This airport probably needs a custom treatment in here. I'm not sure where to park this thing. Park it next to this TV unit. APU on and the generator's on, and go ahead and cut these bad boys. Beacon. See ya. Not the best ATC, not the best landing. Clouds are pretty though. Plane looks good. Boys, we will see you later. Aiden, have a good one. Good luck studying. Dingo, if you're still out there, man, have a good evening in Australia. We love you. We'll see you next time. Peace. See ya.